Hey yo, what is up everyone? It is the Alpha J of the Alpha J Show, and welcome to another Character Clash, a series on my channel where I compare two characters and look for core traits, and see how I would write a character with a similar general premise. Bear in mind, if I say anything that's negated, wrong, or inaccurate because of a future episode, just note the date this was posted. Now let's talk about Jeff and Pearl. I'm gonna be honest, this was really hard to write. I don't want these videos to be 4 minutes short and general and broad, but at the same time, I don't want these videos to be 30 minutes long, detailing every character appearance, and being unnecessarily longer than it needs to be. So for those of you who don't know who Pearl is, let me explain. Pearl is a main character in Steven Universe. I'd like to think of her as a mother of some sort. If Amethyst is a much more relatable and easygoing parental figure, and Garnet serves as more of a protector and a mediator between Pearl and Amethyst, Pearl serves more of a responsible and a nurturing parental figure role, and she has a very needed role in the family of the universes. Without Pearl, there is a big gap of this nurturing soft side that not even Steven's father can fill in. We have the episode Coach Steven, where Garnet and Amethyst pretty much fuse into this violent mix-up, which ends up nearly destroying everything. Jeff is the more sensible and responsible friend of Clarence. We have episodes like Turtle Eyes and Escape from Beyond the Cosmic that really show you some of the best of Clarence and Jeff interactions. Like with Pearl, without Jeff, you have the chaos of Clarence and Sumo, which can be fun, but without the straight man or the voice of reason, Clarence and Sumo can become stale, or even worse, unlikable. So both Jeff and Pearl serve as the anchor that the other characters are too impressionable or chaotic to be. Jeff has episodes like Average Jeff, where Jeff was shocked to see that he was placed in the lower proficiency classes, but then happy that he was the perfect average of everyone in the class. It was an interesting angle to see that whatever he wants to do, he wants to do perfect, even if it's adequacy. Then you have Back to the Barn, where Pearl uses her competitive edge to fight Peridot, a kind of rival, even though she technically did not win in the end either. So we can assume that Jeff and Pearl single-handedly are not tough, but they found their way. In fact, in Back to the Barn, Steven brings up that it took a lot of courage for Pearl to be who she is now. Heck, even compared to her peers, both Jeff and Pearl are not really built menacingly in character design. Another thing that Pearl and Jeff represent is clear symbols of the LGBT community. You have one character who's highly implied, or probably is, a lesbian, and Jeff who indirectly has and accepts his two mothers. Both characters portray homosexuality as a normal part of everyday living, despite one of these characters coming from a fantasy world. And I do like how both have a very strong feminine core. One for obvious reasons, but Jeff likes and does a lot of things that many would describe as feminine, such as gardening and cleaning. And to be fair, we've been around males with these behaviors, such as Johnny Test's father. Now in Clarence, Jeff usually isn't called out for this type of behavior. I think the worst case scenario is that Sumo might say something, but not really mean it, as it's usually in the heat of the moment. And what a clean segue. The way that Amethyst and Pearl fight really does parallel the way that Sumo and Jeff argue. Many arguments do stem from Pearl and Jeff not having enough fun, sticking to a structure, and overall not going with the flow, as some would call it. Often these two are not the main source of fun, they're rather the side person to a much more reactive character. It is not so much that these characters are never fun, it is just that their fun is very different from the people around him. Does Double D come up as an example? They sometimes play his weakness, his structure, and his overall not contributing to the fun the way that people around him would take it and have a good time. Again, it is not that these characters are lame, they're complex, sometimes to their own self-degradation. We have the odd episode, Jeff's Secret, where his secret being leaked caused him to be super paranoid, and in the process, he treated the people around him like crap, which caused him to be very unlikable, and I would even argue debatably unlikable to the audience. We then have episodes where Pearl is supposed to be the unlikable one, such as Sworn to the Sword, where her preconceptions got the best of her. I really do enjoy characters like this. At their best, they can have multiple levels, and really speak to someone as introverted as myself, who often does have a structure and a different level of fun, so I guess I can empathize with them better. And at their worst, these characters can be worse than your violent or drunk bro character or snarky businessman. These characters can cross the border of being arrogant quickly, and crossing that line should only be necessary, not regular. So to close, these characters are similar in the following ways. They both serve as the role of the more responsible one. Both love to be exact or perfect, much to their own detriment. Both are very good modern symbols of the LGBT community. They aren't tough on the outside, but much more on the inside. Both show a very strong feminine core, and both have a very complex personality that not many understand, but appreciate nonetheless. To write a character like this is a bit harder than someone like Remy and Chloe, or Tootie and Timmy. This character requires a bit of self-awareness, combined with an ignorant view of how people perceive them from time to time. I also think that they should be built as weak from afar, but strong when it counts. This character should stand for responsibility, structure, punctuality, or a combination of the three. This was a bit harder to write for, as I'm sure I didn't cover all of Jeff and Pearl's personalities extensively. But Character Clash is about how these two are in comparison of each other, not as separate. That's the clash in Character Clash. So if there's anything that I left out about these two that applies to both, let me know down in the comment section below. Feel free to follow me at The Alpha J Show, and check out the description on other ways to support me and my channel, and make sure to follow me at my Discord. Everything is in the description below. Join me next time when I talk about a series that I'm sure not many people have talked about. As always, I hope your time was well spent, and Alpha out.